that side.
Enter the arena, the Don Juan Banks, and on the line we have the esteemed, the great, the one and only Tommy Razorstein, and he has a lot to say on the John Jones situation and UFC 192. We have this interview courtesy of ESPN. We're going to listen to what Daniel Cormier has to say about John Jones and his upcoming fight at UFC 192 in Houston, Texas, where he will be defending the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship for the first time after defeating Anthony Johnson against Alexander Gustafsson. So we got Tommy Razorstein live from South Korea. He's going to watch this, and he will give you his opinion on the entire situation involving the UFC.
What's up, Don? How you doing, man?
Yes, we're playing this right now, Tom. Can you see it?
Cardio's a good one of his good traits, but we've seen him get tired. When his fights have been long, he's gotten tired. So as we all do, I get tired myself, but we've seen Alexander slow down as the fights go on. So more than anything, it was the footwork. His ability to move early, his boxing and his range. Trying to figure out how to get close to this guy without overexposing myself and putting myself in danger.
When's the last time you thought about John Jones?
Every day. I mean, yeah, I think about Jones just in terms of what am I doing on a day-to-day basis to get better? Because I feel like it's eventual that we're going to fight again. How am I pushing myself to get better and make sure that I'm closing the gap every single day? So every day. And then not only that, but hoping that things are working out for him and he's getting stuff back in line, I would prefer for it to be my last title defense before fighting him again, but if I was to fight again, I'd be fine with that. My gut tells me sometime in the summer. It just seems like if he was going till the summertime, that would be like a year. It's feel like serving a real long, harsh suspension for a harsh action. If we're looking at the code of conduct, something so severe would have gotten probably about a 9-month suspension. So I think if he comes back by next year sometime, when it's right around the year that he's been going, I think the punishment is severe enough. I need him. Like, I need John Jones. I need to compete against him again. This winning the belt is great, but I didn't get the belt off of him. So that is an unfinished business. I mean, even walking to the octagon on January 3rd, even though I believed in my heart that I was going to win, I knew that was not the last time that him and I would share an octagon. And I think everybody in the arena knew that. We're both too good to keep apart because we're going to beat everybody else. So, yeah, I need Jones. I need Jones for my legacy. I need Jones for my peace of mind for when I'm done with this.
Tommy Razorstein live from Tommy Razorstein live from South Korea.
Yeah.
The first time that we've had Tommy Razorstein on in 2 months. And the UFC is at a boiling point. John Jones has avoided jail time. He pleaded guilty to a plea deal. UFC 192 is right around the corner. Daniel Cormier defending the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship for the first time against Alexander Gustafsson. And the consensus is that Daniel Cormier is not the champion. And we have Tommy Razorstein on the line, and he is fired up, and he wants his voice heard. The best MMA analyst on YouTube today, Tommy Razorstein.
Thank you, Don. Thank you. All right. So one thing I was thinking about was the technique, how it's going to go down between Gustafsson and Daniel Cormier.
Yes.
Right? So we got to look at the technique. The body frames between Daniel Cormier and John Jones are somewhat similar. So the styles are a little bit different, though. John Jones went into his clinch, brought a dogfight to DC. And DC's like, if you want to bring a dogfight, bring it. I don't think that Gustafsson is going to bring a dogfight. But the thing is with Gustafsson, if he's able to get those underhooks and block some throws, and because he was doing real well blocking some throws, but DC's still a high caliber wrestler. I mean, MMA wrestling and standard wrestling isn't exactly the same. Olympic wrestling and MMA wrestling aren't exactly the same. They're a little bit different. You know, there's takedowns and mixed up and jabs and punches and kicks and thrown into the mix, and you're trying to figure it all out, and you're analyzing. And someone like Gustafsson, who's never, been into Olympics or trained at a high caliber level, is able to take down someone like John Jones, and John Jones was able to take down DC and bring a dogfight to him and beat DC more or less in the wrestling department, right?
Yeah.
So, with all that said, I think it's very possible that Gustafsson is able to bring that fight, but I think he's going to use a lot more speed that we haven't seen before. I think he's going to use a lot more speed and use a lot more angles than we've seen before. So, with all that said, I think that it's going to be a real close fight, and Gustafsson could win this fight.
Tommy Razorstein, I'm really blown away by this. Let's make it official. I'm putting you on live right now. Who do you have?
Wait. I am not done yet to make it official.
Okay.
No way.
You seem fired up, Tom.
Oh, I'm fired up. Damn right I am.
You saying this means a lot to you right now.
Means a lot.
How do you feel about people saying, I got to ask you this right off the bat because this is the first time we're seeing you for a long time. How do you feel when people say DC is not the light heavyweight champion of the world?
DC is not the light heavyweight champion of the world?
How do you feel when people say that?
I mean, you could argue that.
No, Tom, please.
Well, come on. You could argue the fact that, John Jones did beat DC, and Jones is out and DC's in, and DC's able to, say he's the champ, but still he has that stigma.
Tommy, John Jones right now.
Feel the real official, champ in a way. You know what I mean? He hasn't cleared out that division and made his mark and set his own. And, he did beat Anthony Johnson, and Anthony Johnson beat the living shit out of Gustafsson. And Gustafsson almost beat Jones. So you could argue in a way, but still, there's still that thing above his head that he's thinking about. And it must drive him to keep him up at night and say, oh, I'm really not the champ in a way. It's got to drive you nuts.
Wow, Tommy, because so many people got so many questions. John, here we go, Tom, and the fire is on a all-time high. This is like a 5-alarm fire. I hope you're ready for this. John Jones, Tommy, avoided jail time, 18-month probation. He pleaded guilty. He could be back soon. What is your thoughts on him avoiding jail time, and what do you think is next for him, and how will this all play out?
It's amazing. It's amazing how, things work out sometimes. John Jones gets 18 months probation. He crashed his car. It's not the first time he did it. Crashed his car, but this is the first time he hit it. He hit another person and smashed his car into a pregnant woman, broke her arm, fled the scene with coke all over the place, and he must have been drunk to do it. You know what I mean? He must have been drunk to do it, but fled the scene and then got the alcohol out of his system so that way he could prove that he wasn't drunk or whatever, that they could not prove that he was drunk. So, with that said, that sounds like something that you would get a 5-year ban.
Hello?
Say it wasn't, same
Tommy,
repeat that, and everything like that.
Tommy, can you repeat that again? And the fans are asking you. You said coke all over the place. Do you feel like he was on cocaine in that accident? And he got it out of his system.
Yeah, he might get it out of his system, but he probably got the alcohol out of his system within a 24-hour window. And
okay. That makes a lot of sense what you're saying.
So if you crash your car, there's a thing that people do. People run, and then the next day the alcohol is out of your system. You say, oh, I crashed my car. I left it there. And you can't prove the person is drunk when they crashed the car, which is a horrible thing to do, but people have done it. And I assume that's what John Jones did. Do you know what I mean?
I understand exactly what you mean. You're basically saying I did a video, I forgave Jones. Is he still a fake individual, and will he learn from this mistake? And he's getting off. Jesus saves. He's been saved, or is it corruption?
Is it corruption?
I'm saying
Um,
maybe the lawyers may know somebody. Maybe they pulled some strings. The UFC is still behind him, Tommy. I have to bring it up. Is it Jesus saves, or is it corruption getting him out of this because they want him back in the octagon? Because he is a cash cow. People want to see him.
I think that he should go back into the UFC and fight and earn money, and all that money should be donated to that woman who he crashed his car into. You know, I mean, if she had a miscarriage, now how horrible her life would end up. You know how she would feel if Jones was responsible for a miscarriage from her, and the stress that she must go through, wondering, is the baby okay when a fucking car crashed into her.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? The stress that it must be put on. I think that they have things where it's like donate money to the troops, and I like that idea. I think Jones should have something. Donate money to the bitch I crashed my car into. It's not right. She deserves money. Let him fight. Let him earn his money, and let it go towards her. I like that idea. I don't know if that's possible or not, but I would like to see that sanctioned. And if that's possible, if the judges could, maybe pull something like that. But they probably didn't, so it doesn't matter. But in a good world, no imperfect world, that's what I want to see, Don.
Tommy, the next question is he pled guilty. So that's basically he fessed up to what he committed. He wasn't being fake on that. Did you have any respect for him for doing that? And do you like the fact that he got out with just 18 months probation and not jail? Tommy? Tommy, did you hear the question? We're waiting. Tommy raises
And the taxpayers spend money to
Tommy,
keep him in jail.
Tommy, because it went out for a while. Did you hear my question?
Say it again.
Okay, the question was John Jones got 18-month probation. Did you like the fact that he fessed up and gave a guilty plea? And do you like the fact that he didn't go to jail?
Yeah, I do like the fact that he didn't go to jail. I don't think that the taxpayers should spend their money to put him in jail. I think that he should be on house arrest. I think he should be on house arrest longer and should be, fighting and earning money to donate to the people who he fucked over, who he crashed his car into. You know what I mean? I think that would make more sense. Keeping someone in jail and we're paying to keep him in jail, he's not learning shit. I'd rather him continue to see what he's doing, but monitor the shit out of him, keep him on house arrest so he doesn't do any more, but allow him to fight and earn money so that way he can pay off his debt that he owes. I believe that's the right choice to do for him.
Awesome, man. You really given insight. John Jones, he gets off with this probation right now. He, like you said, the pregnant woman got her arm broke. When do you expect him to return? Insight inside of the UFC like no one else knows. Dana White inside of his mind. Do you feel he will fight the winner of this fight in the summer?
I would like to say yes. And I think he'll fight DC again because I think DC will win this fight. It's not going to be easy for him, but I think Gustafsson, he took a bad beating. He took a bad beating from Anthony Johnson, and that might, wear on him. You're getting hit that fucking hard, rattles your brain, dude. I don't know, man. Taking horrible beatings. I don't know where he is mentally right now. DC's doing good right now. I think he's, doing good mentally. It's amazing how well these fighters adjust and adapt when they have the right mindset. And when they have the wrong mindset, you can see how horrible they do.
Tommy,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. Me and you talk over the phone all the time. Daniel Cormier, 16-1-6 KOs, the UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, going against Alexander Gustafsson, 16-3, 10 KOs. When the name Alexander Gustafsson was named the #1 contender, although he lost to Anthony Johnson. What was your opinion on that?
I'm sorry, say it again. It cut out a little bit.
DC, Daniel Cormier, 16-1 with 66 KOs. UFC light heavyweight champion of the world since John Jones was stripped after that accident that he had and fled the scene. When the name Alexander Gustafsson was named as the one that will fight DC for the title, 16-3, 10 KOs. What was your opinion on that?
I thought it was the right choice. It's definitely the right choice.
He lost his last fight. Some people will say, you're the best MMA analyst on YouTube today. How could you say you're okay with that?
I'm okay about it. I want to see what the matchups are. I want to see, who does again, how people do against each other. I want to see how technique goes. That's what I'm concerned about. What I follow a lot of the time is just technique, and I do get into the mindset of the fighters and trying to figure out, how they feel on, in each fight and how they react. But a lot of times I'll just go and dive into the technique, and I want to see how things match up, based on technique. And I want to see this fight. I just want to see it. I want to see, what's going to happen when someone who is shorter, and has shorter arms, but great Greco, goes against somebody in a clinch who has been able to take down John Jones and extended that leg of John Jones, which we saw before. I mean, it's interesting if they.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Ragestein is from South Korea, and we may have
clinch that he used against John Jones and took him down.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are having some technical issues. I will
effective on DC.
Tommy, can
DC's
you that real quick?
They're not long. Huh?
Can you repeat a little bit of that real quick? The reception went out.
Oh, okay. So if they get in a clinch and DC is, not able to really get in on Gustafsson and they're moving around, elbows are flying, and Gustafsson's able to extend that leg, one of that, there's single legs at the same single leg that he hit on John Jones, you might see a takedown from Gustafsson. You know what I mean? And that's going to really wear on the mindset of DC if he gets a takedown. That's going to be really hard. Takedowns fuck up wrestlers. It just messes up their mind. Like, no, you can't take me down. That's my position. That's what I do. And like when you do it to them, it really fucking freaks them out. And like back in the day, they used to say, oh, wrestlers have a hard time on their back. Maybe on the back in the old days. You know what I mean? They don't like being on their backs. Remember one thing? They don't like getting taken down by someone who's, a striker. That really fucks them up. That really fucks you up. Someone who's like a boxer who would take down a wrestler. Oh, God, that would drive me nuts. You know what I mean? So if he's able to take him down, it's going to really wear on the mindset of DC. And the technique, DC has short legs, and he can Gustafsson might be able to get a single and extend that leg, which he's done against Jones. Jones has a lot longer legs.
Tommy Ragestein, I've been looking at a lot of things on Facebook, and they're saying, you guys have been on YouTube for 5 years now. Make it official. We don't like the bullshit here. I'm going to make it official. I got Daniel Cormier. Are you able on this show to make it official?
What are the odds? I got to look at the odds. I got to look at everything. I'm not ready yet.
Okay, who are you leaning toward then? Can you at least tell us that? Because you don't want to let the fans down, Ragestein. You're a man of your word. You're a man of your character. You're a man who will go out on a limb. You got to tell them something.
All right, right now I'm leaning towards DC. All right?
Okay. Not making it official, but you're leaning towards DC.
Not making it official, but right now I'm leaning towards DC. All right? Because I feel like he has the right competitive edge mentally. And I think that his Greco is still higher class and that he will be able to get in and get under those arms. Gustafsson did a great job blocking Jones, though. Get under those arms and really make a difference. I mean, there's little things of like hip control, hand control, getting underneath the arms, making sure like you're rocking the body back and forth so that way you get the right positioning. All those little things I'm going to have to watch and see if Gustafsson is able to do. Maybe Jones, did that a little bit, but I don't think he did as much as DC is able to do. DC still has a higher caliber game, even though I know MMA wrestling and college wrestling, Olympic wrestling aren't exactly the same, but they're so similar. There's still a lot of scenarios that still play a factor. Balance still plays a factor. Hand control, head control, hip control. They still play a factor.
Tommy Razorstein, we got 4 minutes left. Any last comments about this fight? This fight is taking place 2 days from now, Tommy. It's going to be Daniel Cormier, his first title defense against Alexander Gustafsson. You saw both of their fights. Can you tell us the difference between both of their fights? Your last words and shout-outs.
Gustafsson versus Anthony Johnson.
Versus Jones. Both of their fights with Jones. Or Jones. Either one. It doesn't matter. Say whatever you want.
See, the Jones fight was perfect between those two because their body frames completely matched up with each other. And Jones thought he had the edge on the speed. So he, was sleeping on Gustafsson and sleeping on the fact that he thought he had the speed on, and he didn't. Gustafsson had the speed edge, which really did a fucking number on Jones. So when I think about the speed, and as Daniel Cormier power shots like Rumble Johnson has, you know what I mean? All four of them, only one of them has that knockout power. I don't think anyone has knockout power like, Rumble Johnson and all of UFC, though. But the four of them, they'll pepper you. 3 out of the 4 will pepper you and wear on you and beat you and beat on you. But they won't give you that one bang KO shot that Anthony Johnson can bring. So is DC, take it, beat it a couple rounds, peppered, and 5 rounds and going through a war? It's going to be interesting because
Tommy Richardson is live from South Korea. It's a long reception. I'll ask him to repeat that.
In the face of Anthony Johnson. And his body was saying stop.
Tommy, can you repeat that last part real quick? Can you repeat that last part real quick? It went out.
Oh, I'm going to say that Gustafsson's a fucking Viking, dude. He brings it in the fight. He didn't want to, stop fighting, and he almost died fighting Jones. So he's going to bring it when he fights, DC. And, it's going to be real hard to stop that fucking Viking. It's going to be real fucking hard. He got hit by Anthony Johnson, and Anthony Johnson rocked the fucking shit out of him. But you know what? That Viking, Gustafsson, he didn't want to stop. His body was saying, stop, I can't take this shit. But he didn't want to stop. You could see it. So it's going to be real hard to put away someone like fucking Gustafsson. This is going to go all 5 rounds.
Tommy Razorstein, enter the arena. The Don Juan Banks, we are going to have you on after this weigh-in. This is going to be huge. Are you going to have a post-fight show with us? Tommy?
Don.
Yeah, post-fight show, hang out. Will you invite, like Corey and different people can come on, Lance? They can speak to you live after this fight?
Yeah, sure. I'll be.
It's the reception. He's from South Korea. If we can hear him again, can you repeat that last part real quick?
Yeah, it's just lost connection with you. That's all.
South Korea is far away. Gotta thank you, Tommy Razorstein, for coming on. Thank you very much. This show is going up. We will see you live after the fight. That's the next time we'll see you?
Yep.
Okay. Tommy Razorstein, ladies and gentlemen, the best MMA analyst on YouTube today. He is back, and he is fired up for UFC 192 on October 3rd. We'll see everyone later. Please take the time to subscribe. It's Into the Arena. It's real sports here, nothing fake. Thanks.
All right, cool.